Cisco Endpoint AMP analysis, WannaCry. So a couple quick links included on this page for Talos. Check it out. A lot of great stuff there. So we all know what happened on Friday, May 12th, 2017, right? WannaCry took hold. In this case, we will be looking at what was previously an unknown malware sample in the wild. We'll observe the command line behavior, which allowed Cisco to identify a threat based on IOCs. We will trace this back and determine the initial infection. And we know that WannaCry leveraged Eternal Blue exploit to remotely compromise Windows SMB. So again, we're going to jump in here. We're going to dig into this a little bit and get analysis. Again, there's lots of ways to determine bad, right? And in this case, we're seeing a behavior or an indication of compromise. So here we are at the dashboard again. A lot of great stuff here, right? We can see, compromises, quarantine detections, vulnerabilities, and it'll allow us to pivot if we choose to do so. Here, what we're going to do is jump to the inbox, which shows us a bunch of hosts that require attention. From here, we're going to quickly pick the WannaCry demo machine. And very quickly, we're going to see a bunch of related events. And here, we can pivot right from here into device trajectory. I'm going to pick or select device trajectory as a whole. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start tracing back. So we can see a lot of red here, right? Which is good because it's visual. But what I'm looking for is an indication of compromise. So we're going to scroll to the left until we find what may be an indication of compromise. And when we do see an indication of compromise, we'll highlight it as yellow. So it's very visual again. So the first thing that we see here is we see a possible ransomware shadow copy deletion IOC. And we can see the command line arguments to invoke that behavior. Now, this is going to delete all of your shadow copies and making your asset very difficult to recover to, right? If I get the encryption on here, you're not going to be able to restore, at least from shadow copies, right? And here's the actual command line, right? So this is when it happened. Okay, so good stuff so far. So if we go over a little bit, we can actually see another one. And in this one, what we're seeing is that we're actually going into BCD edit to disable recovery here. So again, what we're doing is making sure that even on boot, that we're going to make it very difficult for you to recover as the adversary, right? And that's the goal here because they want you to pay. So we know now what took place. So we can start looking at this either left or right, doesn't really matter. But we can start doing analysis. So I'm just going to move over a little bit and I'm going to look to see maybe something that's part of this process. So very quickly we can see task.sche, so the task scheduler. And if we right click it, we can see that it is malicious, right? That's interesting. Why would task scheduler be malicious? And we can also see that VirusTotal also indicates this, right? Now, VirusTotal is not used for to rely on our Cisco for finding disposition, right? It's really to enrich the data that you're seeing and obviously add additional confidence. If we scroll to the left a little bit, what we see is a bunch of files being encrypted, right? And we can see right from here this WannaDecryptor.exe binary. And we know that it was invoked by task schedule, okay? Or task scheduler. Now, if we scroll more to the left, we can see all these files being encrypted. Not good stuff for sure, right? But at least we know what's happening, right? Or at least they're being moved to be encrypted, right? So as we move over a little bit more, what we're going to do is we want to find that task scheduler and find out what invoked it. So here we can see there's the file, right? And we can see from that Microsoft Security Center process actually invoked it, right? It was created or executed by Microsoft Security Center process. We see it's malicious as well, right? We can look at the full report if we chose to do that, and we'll do that in later videos. All right, so now what do we do, right? Well, let's go find out where that mssecsvc.exe or svc, sorry, .exe. So let's go find that file, right? Let's find out what created that file. And here we find the file, and we find out that it's created by LSASS. So that's interesting, right? So the idea around Eternal Blue is to obviously compromise the asset using a vulnerability within the asset, and it's being done remotely, and it was successful here, right? The cool thing here is we had full visibility, and that's it. Nobody's hiding from us.